Howie Roseman literally plays GM like you would on a Madden franchise and has built the best roster in the NFL because of it. Most GMs get so egotistical and think they have outsmarted the system, but not Howie. He literally signs the biggest names and drafts the highest ranked players more times than not overthinking anything, and he looks like a pure genius for it. After the Jalen Reagor pick in 2020, that was a colossal bust, Howie Roseman has been absolutely dialed. Let's see what he's done since. He bounced back in the second round of the 2020 draft by selecting a franchise quarterback that is about to appear in his second Super Bowl in the past 3 seasons. Hurts here was Howie's foundation to building this stacked roster. In the 2021 NFL Draft, he took Devontae Smith with the 10th pick, who was the absolute correct pick, and in the second round took Landon Dickerson, who was one of the top-rated guard prospects and now one of the best in the NFL. To round out the solid 21 class, he got Kenneth Gainwell in the 5th, who was turned into a quality backup behind Saquon. This is just the tip of the iceberg for good old Howie, though. In the 2022 draft, he got Jordan Davis in the first round, who slipped to Philly. More times than not, Howie picks who you should if you were GM, and it works well. They selected Cam Jurgens in the second round, who is now the center for one of the best O-lines we've ever seen. The best pick here, though, was Nakobe Dean, who they got with the 83rd pick. NFL scout Daniel Jeremiah had Dean ranked as the 17th best player in the entire draft. All 3 of these guys now look like borderline stars in 2025. Oh, and they also got A.J. Brown in 2022, trading away a first-round pick they had from the Wentz deal. Free agency, he snatched Hassan Reddick for 3 years, $45 million, which was one of the bigger steals in the past few years of free agency. Snagged James Bradberry on a 1-year deal, plus got Kaiser White on a minimum deal, who was solid for them. In a 2-year rebuild, he got Philly back to the Super Bowl, and somehow now this roster is even better. In the 2023 NFL Draft, Jalen Carter fell right in their lap. Many had Carter ranked as the best defender in the entire draft, and he's now one of the best in the NFL. At pick 30, Nolan Smith dropped shockingly to them, who was ranked as the 16th best prospect, according to Daniel Jeremiah. Kelee Ringo fell to them the 4th round. Many had Ringo graded as a second-round pick. In this most recent offseason, they got Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean in the draft. 2 players that were rated higher than their draft slot, and now these 2 rookies are playing a huge part in the Eagles' defense looking elite. If that wasn't good enough, their free agent signings from last offseason have catapulted this roster into the elite of the elites. They got Saquon on a 3-year, $37.5 million deal. Saquon may be the most valuable player in all of football right now, and they got him way below than what his price tag should have been. They signed Zach Bond on a 1-year deal, who was a nobody for the Saints and now looks like a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. And to round it out, they brought back C.J. Gardner-Johnson on a team-friendly deal and got Mekhi Becton for nothing to solidify their O-line. Howie Roseman has been on absolute fire the past few years, and I give all the credit in the world to him. He has built the most stacked roster in football by simply drafting the best-rated guys more times than not and signing great players on cheap deals. Shout out to Howie Roseman. He's clearly the best GM in football right now, and it's not even close.